Sometimes we're just as shocked or moved or energized by the news we cover as anyone would be. But by the time we share it, our initial reaction has settled a bit. But for these stories, we want you to learn about the news at the same time we do. Welcome to another installment of
And if you don't know, now you know.
All right, so on this installment of If You Don't Know, Now You Know, we have what we believe is the perfect article. Neither of us have read this one, full disclosure, so we are going to be flying blind, and our initial reactions are going to be shared with you, and we're really excited about this. So this, of course, from the Black Information Network. We wouldn't have these things if it weren't for Black women. All right. Many industries and individuals benefit from the inventions of Black people, especially Black women. These brilliant Black minds gave us amazing inventions we still use today, from components of common electronics to essential home systems. You could argue they pushed society and progress forward thanks to their trailblazing creations. Below are some life-changing inventions created by Black women. First, home video security systems. Marie Van Britten Brown worked long and late hours as a nurse in Queens, New York, becoming concerned about her safety when she came home. So she and her husband, Albert Brown, put their heads together and created the first video home security system in 1966. The couple patented their trailblazing product in 1969, paving the way for modern home security systems like Ring doorbell cameras. All right, next up, sanitary napkins. Before we had tampons and menstrual pads, Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner invented a sanitary belt that would become precursor to such items. While she faced financial issues and racism from both companies and officials, she eventually got her patent for the revolutionary product. Anybody who's ever needed something during their time of the month can thank her. Next up, HVAC systems. You can thank Alice H. Parker for heating systems in homes, businesses, and other buildings today. The Howard University student and New Jersey native lived in cold climates, so she patented a central heating system using natural gas in 1919. Her invention laid the foundation for modern HVAC systems and allowed you to stay warm during the winter. Oh, funny. Fiber optic cables. I just kind of connected some fiber optic cables to my TV. I had no idea. All right. Fiber optic cables. Phone calls and the internet wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dr. Shirley Jackson, the first Black American to graduate with a doctorate in particle physics. This scientist was behind major telecommunications research, leading to touch-tone dialing, caller ID, call waiting, and most notably fiber optic cables. If you're not familiar with fiber optic cables, they're the cords that transmit data at light speeds. It basically facilitates corded phone calls and broadband internet, marking huge changes in communication technology as we know it. Next up is the ironing board. While ironing seems to be going out of fashion, there was a time when it was a necessary thing to do. As such, ironing boards became essential home products. Enter Sarah Boone, a freed slave and dressmaker looking to make the ironing process much easier. Her improved ironing board kept clothes in place, made it so no impressions were left on the board from the iron, and featured a foldable pair of legs for easy storage. Boone earned a patent for the product in 1892. All right, and then clothes wringer in washing machines. You know how washing machines spin out the excess water that seeps into your clothes during a spin? It's thanks to Ellen F. Elgin that we don't have to worry about that kind of thing. The invention, created in the 1860s, made doing laundry easier as you could quickly hang clothes to dry. Because of times, however, Elgin sold her work to Ringer Company and never saw money from the revolutionary edition. So, I like that. Didn't realize it would hit close to home because, like I said, I was just hooking up some fiber optic cables. I had to order a splitter, and I didn't order it from Amazon. I got it from eBay because I'm not rocking with Amazon, and I'm petty, and I have a long memory, and I will die mad. But I'm glad that I was supporting a Black woman, I guess in my mind, by getting those fiber optic cables and the splitter. Your thoughts here, Q?
If you had asked me how much of the convenience, safety, and comfort of our lives do we owe to Black women?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
typically for these stories, there are things that we didn't know that shock us. These are things that I didn't know that didn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
Like that you could have named 1,000 more things that we use every day. And yeah, that has sounded about right.
Yeah.
We haven't hidden or been shy about our feelings regarding Black women on every platform we've ever
let them know
done.
how we feel, Q.
And Black women are the creators of everything. Straightforward.
Black women invented humans.
Period. So nothing else needs to be said here. Thank you is what we need to say.
That's it.
Over
right.
and as often as we can.
Yeah. Q and I, we often say, on this show and elsewhere, and this is what you were alluding to, is that Black women are as close to God as we can be on this planet. And, scientifically speaking, if we wanted to make that argument, I think it's well made with what we just said. Black women created Homo sapiens sapiens, full stop. But, for these Black women in particular, I couldn't be prouder, especially because I know that it's like the last story when we were talking about the ringing, the ringer, like the clothes dryer thing that wrings out your clothes, that she never saw money from that. So imagine having to get everything that you need. I'm assuming no education. This is the 1860s. So that prior to that, there's slavery and no education. You still are able to come up with an invention with no education, no engineering background, none of that sort of stuff. You invent something. Somehow you get it patented, and then someone takes advantage of it. And I would imagine that this story has happened more times than we can count to black men and Black women, but Black women especially. And, to be able to just celebrate these handful of Black women that have done something amazing. These are things that, like, I have a home security system at my house. I have fiber optic cables. I have, all this stuff. I have an ironing board with foldable legs, and so, it just feels a little bit more special to be able to celebrate that. So, I didn't know any of these, but I think your point is well made that, it doesn't surprise me, but it does make me happy to know that at least we can associate the names with the invention, even if the money and the, all the things that are supposed to come with a great invention didn't flow to, some of these women. It's been very tough to create wealth for Black women especially, and but we can certainly honor them appropriately, and hopefully we've done that today. This has been a production of the Black Information Network. Today's show was produced by Chris Thompson. Have some thoughts you'd like to share? Use the red microphone talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. While you're there, be sure to hit subscribe and download all of our episodes. I am your host, Ramses Ja, on all social media.
I am Q Ward on all social media as well.
And join us tomorrow as we share our news with our voice from our perspective right here on the Black Information Network Daily Podcast.